It's time for Cutting Edge Consciousness with Freeman Michaels and Barnet Bain. Thought-provoking discussions and bold ideas from the edge of possibility.
You know, we have a friend, our friend Betsy Chasse, who is a project that's stirred her. It's got her so
fired her up.
Unbelievable. And she's
But she's a pretty fiery dame anyway.
She is. But she's ready to go because this message has grabbed hold of her, you know, sort of everything and shook her about. I'm speaking now about the film Killing Buddha that she's right now working on funding. And in fact, we're going to invite her on because, you know, for those of you who don't know Betsy Chasse, she is the writer, producer, and director of the
little film. Probably one or two of you might have seen.
What the Bleep Do We Know?
Maybe a few more than one or two.
Yes, she's also an author and the CEO, president,
radio
founder
host
of Intention Media.
I'm stepping on your lines.
And the radio host of Life Unscripted, which I've had the pleasure of joining her on several occasions on that fantastic show. And she's with us now to talk about this thing that's got her attention. Betsy, welcome.
Wow. Hi, you guys.
Hey, Betsy. How are you?
I am great. I love listening to your show. You guys are so cool.
Thank you.
We went to cool school.
Did you?
Yeah.
I totally missed that class.
Well, Jill Liven was teaching it. You should have tuned in earlier.
That's right. If you'd been on a little earlier, you would be a graduate.
Oh, so close. Story of my life.
Hey, let's talk about this crazy thing you're doing. I'm so excited. I've already chipped in. Killing Buddha.
How much did you chip in?
You can't say that on air.
You can't say that.
If it's a good number, you can.
It's a good number for me.
If it's a good number.
Here's the thing that's awesome about what I was just about to say what I'm doing. How arrogant, but it's so true.
Well, let's frame it. It's you're doing a crowdfunding project so that people understand what how Freeman's chipped in. And now back to you.
Right. So it's a crowdfunding campaign, and I'm really excited about it because, you know, it's really, we oftentimes make films and then we put them out there and hope people show up. And what's really exciting about what we're up to is that we're inviting people to join in, to be a part of the team. And when you do that, you can do it for as little as $10 and you get a T-shirt or you get a DVD or, you know, there's all sorts of levels. You can go all the way up to becoming an associate producer.
Then you get a Porsche.
I'm not giving out Porsches, Barnet, no matter how, like, I wish I could.
Well, wait a minute. When it wins an Academy Award, you get a Porsche.
I don't think so. Plus, at that point, it might not be politically correct to give out Porsches. But it's cool because people are joining in and they're really excited, but they're also coming along for the ride. We have a special website that's set up for everybody who participated in the campaign, and they get to watch us as we make the movie, watch videos, watch us blog, contribute ideas. So you're really becoming a part of the filmmaking process. And the other thing that's really exciting for me is that, you know, you guys have been talking a little bit about, you know, your voice or your persona or your brand. And you know, part of what I hope to do with my films is excite people to, you know, to share and spread the word about the message that's in the film. And people that contribute get the opportunity to do that, and they use their voice. You guys were talking about your voice earlier. I mean, simply by participating in the campaign, you're saying to theater owners and distributors and other financiers, hey, we want more movies like this.
Yeah.
So I'm inviting people into my brand, to be a part of who, you know, the message of the film and what, you know, what I'm making and what I'm doing, and not trying to be like the lone wolf out there doing it alone.
But let's go back.
Yes.
Because the most important thing is that the message grabbed you. And so I want to talk about Killing Buddha. I want to talk about your vision. I want to talk about what it is about this project that has inspired you so much.
I want to add one thing before you talk about that. What is the elevator pitch?
So the elevator pitch is, imagine what would happen if the least spiritual person on the planet gets hired to make a movie about spirituality.
Fabulous.
See, you guys are all like filmmakers. You guys, the audience doesn't know. Wait a minute. I have to say this because I know you personally, and we've hung out and we've had many conversations. And, of course, you know Barnet as well. But then the three of us get together, and I do feel like a little left out right now. You guys do filmmaker speak, and I don't know what the heck you're talking about.
Okay. It's just.
Okay, you do box office speak, and we like that, too.
Listen, everybody, any business owner really has to have an elevator pitch. Whether you're a filmmaker or you're making widgets or whatever you're doing, you have to be able to talk about what you're doing. So your question, Freeman, is, why is this movie so important to me, and why am I, trying to get it made, and why am I out here doing it?
Exactly.
And so let me start with this. The title, Killing Buddha, is, of course, controversial, and I've, talk about putting yourself out there and really standing up for what you believe in. When I put the title out there, I certainly got a lot of pushback. But the title is based on a very famous Buddhist koan or saying, which says, and there's many versions of it, but the short version is, if you see the Buddha along the road, kill him, or you'll follow him the rest of your life.
That's right.
And, about 3.5 years ago, I read that quote, that story, and I realized that I had spent my entire life with creating Buddhas, which I turned to mean, and what the teachings will tell you means is like things outside of myself that are going to bring me happiness, or that are going to give me the keys or the answers to life, or are going to make my life easier or better. So much so that I stopped trusting myself. I stopped going within and listening to my own instincts and my own heart, and even speaking with my heart. And when I read that story, I thought to myself, gosh, I got to kill those Buddhas.
Really...
And that's kind of where the story came from. And the film is a comedy. It's a light-hearted comedy. I mean, if you saw what the Bleep Do We Know, you know that, I don't take myself too seriously.
It's a light-hearted killing comedy.
It is. It's as it should be.
It's killing us lightly.
Well, maybe.
It's going to kill us with laughs.
It's going to kill us with laughs, and,
Yeah.
and it's fun, and it's different than the Bleep in that it's not a spiritual film.
I've read the script. Unless you've changed it, it is funny.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad. I've changed it some, but thank you. I think it is funny.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a lot of great, wonderful people involved in the project who've committed to being in the project, teachers and authors and speakers. But the difference between, say, the Bleep and Killing Buddha is that they're all in the movie as themselves, interacting with the actors.
I think that's fantastic.
Are you have you cast the leads, and or is that in process?
That's in process. The great thing about this crowdfunding campaign that I'm really excited, and I'm so grateful for everybody who's participated already, is because I've now raised enough money. I'm literally hiring a casting director today.
Yay.
Who is going to go out, and we're going to start looking at actresses to play the main characters. My goal with this movie is to really, reach a broader audience of people, not just the, quote, spiritual community who thinks that we know everything. But, I remember being, and am still, this person who looks at a lot of this stuff that we get, this information and this data, these books that we read, and it kind of overwhelms me. And I get a little, I think, oh, God, this is the book. I'm supposed to have read this book, and this book is going to tell me what I need to know. And then 6 months later, you read another book, and you get lost and overwhelmed. And
I hope you read Freeman's book.
I have not read Freeman's book yet, but I will read. But I've hung out with Freeman so much that I feel like I've read his book.
She's got my book. But the point you're making is really good, is that what happens in this quote-unquote community is it becomes its own construct that binds us to something less than our potential. And along the way, I have killed my share of Buddhas personally. And that is critical to an evolving sense of self, is that where a spiritual teacher is so important in one moment, in the next moment there's something else that's more relevant, and to be able to really move into and this is the theme of the show, by the way, that level of authenticity where we're willing to sacrifice who we've been in favor of who we're becoming.
Well, I'm going to sacrifice you both right now. I'm going to kill a whole bunch of Buddhas in one thing, because we are winding down. I'd like you to give our audience, our listeners, the information that they can turn to in order to discover more about Killing Buddha and the crowd sharing opportunity and how they can participate.
So it's real easy. They can go to killingbuddhathemovie.com, and there's a little video there and all the information they're going to want to find out about the film, and it'll explain how they can participate. And even if they can't participate, the fact that they're sharing it on their Facebook or wherever social networking they're doing, or sending emails out, that's really a part of participating as well. So it's killingbuddhathemovie.com. Thank you, guys.
Betsy,
much.
Thanks so much for joining us.
I appreciate it. Have a great day, you two.
Thank you.
Bye.
So what's interesting, Barnet, is that, just to tie this together a little bit, and it doesn't have to be tied that tightly, just the way that the forms can only hold so much. And I love the idea of Killing Buddha. I love the idea of having an elevator speech or personal proclamation and always tweaking it and expanding it so that there's more of me in my perception of myself, and there's more of me that's consciously being expressed in the world.
Well, we have a sense of ourselves. We have an understanding of our, even if it isn't fully conscious.
Right.
We have a sense of that's beyond, that's a little bit more than I can let in. That's beyond my ability to imagine, or I can't see that possibility. We don't have to scratch too deeply before we begin to see the boundaries of our beliefs and our imagination and our expectations. And when, as you say, when we can be aware of that and push them out just a teeny little bit, then we don't have to come crashing up against the walls of our limitation, and we don't have to meet with too much crisis. We can invite the crisis beforehand and push the walls out a little bit farther, make the elevator speech a little bit more spacious, and allow our lives to be larger and larger and larger.
And then one day we look up and we realize, wow,
we've killed a lot of Buddhas,
and it's being received. I mean, that's the other piece of this too, is that the work is our work. That it is going to be received in the world is in large measure, we don't know. I mean, we just put it out. We hope that it's I mean,
it can't be why we put it out.
That's the point. That's the point. If we begin to adjust our characters and value and all the things you said before,
then we're getting validation for our expertise, and we are
Right.
not developing an expertise for the joy of the dance.
The joy of the dance. Hey, speaking of dancing, I'm still working on my salsa. No, I'm just kidding.
How is your salsa going?
It's a little bumpy.
Yeah, I don't think we told you that Sandy and I, we didn't
You
do
did.
salsa. No, we did tango.
You did say tango.
We did tango.
Yeah,
It was a blast.
That's
Up
fantastic.
until the second lesson, and then it really pushed out. Talking about elevator speeches, too much too soon.
That's great. So here's my invitation to folks who are listening. If you don't know what we're talking about, you have to
Go
tune
back.
in to last week's show.
Go back and catch
It's
up.
Critical.
There'll be a quiz.
And there will be-
Barry, the board op, is waving us down. That is a sign that says not only is it over, it's long over.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we
All
thank
right.
you very, very much. Look forward to seeing you all next week here on.
Cutting Edge Consciousness.
That's right.